So we are doing the prototype in JavaScript, and let's do one more example of the prototype. So generally prototype is used for inheritance. Now what is inheritance? Inheritance means we have parent class, and then we have child class. So child, you can call class or object. The child object can access all the functionalities of the parent object, and it can also has its own functionality. Okay, so that is what called inheritance. So that's why we can create one object and we can extend it to another object, and the second object, the child object, can access all the properties of the parent object. That's what we will be doing in inheritance. So let's create one function. I will name it as parent. So this will be the parent, and it will have let's say it has one property. My name is equal to parent. So the name of this is parent, and I will create one function also, maybe str1, and I will create a function. This function will say something, maybe return my name is plus this dot my name. So it will just return the string. Okay. So I created one function that is called the parent, and if I see parent is a function, if I do console.dir of parent, it is a prototype, and the constructor of the prototype is the parent, because this is the function which we created it. Okay. Now I can create object from this parent and I can use it as we do always, but here we have to understand how to do the inheritance. So we need one more class that will extend this parent class. So let's create another class called as function child, and this one will be having this dot my name. His name will be child, and here I will create another function str2 equal to function, and this function will say return my new name is plus this dot my name. So here in the parent I just created my name is this, and in the child I say my new name is my name, this dot my name. So this is what I created in the child. Okay, let's create the child one now. Now we have to link this child to this parent. Okay, let's see what child has. So if I do console.dir of child, you will see we have the prototype, and prototype is the object, and we have the default property of the constructor, and the constructor is nothing but the child, this child. What is the constructor of the parent? Constructor of the parent is parent. Inside the prototype we have the constructor, and what we have, the parent function, because it is created from the parent function. Similarly, child has a prototype. All the functions have prototype, and the inside prototype we have the constructor function, and it is of the child because it is created from the child function. Now how to make this child, how to make this parent of this child? Let's try to link both. So we are trying linking now. So before linking, I want you to create these two functions. Create this function and then create this function. So just first create this function and write it down in your notepad or console.log so that when we do linking, it will be easy for you to understand how to do linking. So just create this function and that function. Let me know when it's done. Okay, so if you've done the parent function, you can do the child function. Here is the child function. Okay, one person completed both the functions. Okay, looks like you're done with these two functions. Now we will do the linking. So try to understand how I'm doing the linking, and then we have to do the linking same. So generally the linking is done on this prototype part. So if I want to link child to this parent, I will change the prototype of the child. I will change the prototype of this child to the parent. So how to do that? See here. So I will say child dot prototype is equal to new parent. I will make an object of the parent, and to make the object I have to use the new keyword. I'm not calling the function directly parent, I'm just saying new parent. So that means this is the object I'm creating it, and I'm assigning this object to the prototype of the child. So that means if I change the prototype of the child to any object, then that object will become the parent of this child. So to make the parent as a parent of this child, I have to say child.prototype, that is this prototype. I will override. Right now we have this object. I will override this object with the parent. So I'll do this step. So what I did, I changed this prototype to access the parent. So now the prototype will be not this object, it will be the parent object. That is this one. Now if I see the child like this, you will see child has the prototype which is pointing to the parent. This parent. See, the object is parent. So that means this child can access now all the properties of the parent, like my name of the parent and str of one of the parent, and it can also access its own properties, which are this one. But if you see, when I did the prototype of this, when I did the child prototype of new parent, you will see the constructor is lost. This constructor property is lost. And this constructor property is very important because it defines what the child is made up of. And here we see the child is made up of the child function. But once I override this prototype to the new parent, we lose the constructor here. What we are losing? Constructor here. See, there is no constructor here in this prototype. So this will create some problem in future which are not apparent now, because we always need the constructor to be the function from which we build this object. Okay, so it is the child function. So it is a child function. So since I override the prototype with the parent, now the constructor is gone. That is very bad. So we need to write one more statement to create the constructor once it is done. So the next step in linking, just write down this line of the code. Child.prototype equal to new parent. Just write down only this line of the code. Okay, so this line is done. So after this line, you will see the constructor property is gone, and whenever we have this object from this function, we need the constructor property. Without constructor property, we are lost kind of thing. It's kind of bad thing if constructor is lost. So what we will do, we will add the constructor now as in this line. So I will say child dot prototype. Since child prototype's constructor is gone, so I will create the constructor, and this constructor will be child. Here I'm not putting new, I'm not putting child and this bracket, I'm just saying the child function. So the constructor should be this child function. So whoever is losing the constructor, we have to add that. Parent is not losing the constructor because we only wrote child.prototype. We have not mentioned parent.prototype. So we are only changing child.prototype. So we need to reconstruct the constructor by this line. Once I will put this line, then if I check the child again, if I check the child again, you will see I'm getting the constructor property back, and this constructor is pointing to the child. Since this is the child, its constructor property should point to child, but it has the prototype of the parent, which we see by these two variable names, because parent has str1 and in the prototype we see str1. So any object which I create from this child can access all the functions of the child, and it can access all the functions of the parent. Okay, so now just create this line, put this line. Okay, so this line is done. Then let's go ahead now. Now let's create the object from the child. So I will say var c equal to new child. So I'm creating the object c from the child. Now if I see the c, if I check c, what is there in the c? Since I use the new keyword, c is an object of the child, and it has my name property of the child and str2 function of the child. And if I go to proto, it can access the parent's my name, and it can also access the str1 of the parent. So this C object which I created is the object of the child function, but it has the parent of parent, so it can access both. It can access this parent also, it can access this child also. So just do this line now, var c equal to new child. Now we will run that one to see what's happening. So after var c equal to new child, I will try to access the properties. I will say c dot my name. It is saying child. If I say c dot str2, my new name is child. If I say c dot str1, when I say c dot str1, it will check here if str1 exists or not. Since str1 does not exist here, it will go to the proto of this object. Inside proto, if it tries to see whether str1 exists or not, yes, it exists here. So it will run from here. And even if it does not exist here, then it will go again the proto of here and check if the property is here. If it is not there, then again it will go to the proto and check if the property is here or not. So it goes to the parent till it finds that property which we are trying to access it. But since str1 is in the immediate parent of this child, I can access it. So it will get it from this parent, that is str1, and it can show the result whatever it is showing. So just type now c.myname and c.str2 and c.str1. Just write down these three so that we are trying to access the properties of child and the parent from the C object. Now since child is tied to parent, we can access the property of child, we can access the property of parent. Let me know once you write down these 3 lines. So if you put c.myname, it will give the only this one. So I cannot really go to parent of this, that my name, to access the my name kind of thing. But if you delete the my name of the C, you can access the parent one. Okay. So with this structure, you cannot access the parent name with the my name kind of thing. But there are certain cases we see different ways to access that, which we will see in future. But not with this structure, we can access that parent one name. So I cannot write c dot parent dot name, but I can try to write down C, but this is not practically allowed. If I write on the proto, dot my name. So I can access this proto dot my name, which is giving the parent, but this proto is not allowed with this one. Okay. So with this proto we cannot allow, but we can change some of the functionalities in the parent to access it with this property name if we want. So we can create some extra functions so that he can access the property of this my name. But if you want to access with the proto, you can access it. But this proto is not allowed. So though you can access it, but in the code you cannot write down this proto my name. So this is not allowed. But we can create some function so that which is only in the parent, and then we can access that property of the parent if you want to. Otherwise, you delete the my name of the child, then you can access it. Okay, so that's a little drawback of that. But I cannot say c.parent, but I can say .proto, but practically it is not allowed. So you cannot write this in your real life code, though we can access it with this one, but you cannot access it in the real one. But if you want to really access this one, just try to create this with my name 1 and this my name 2, then you can access both the properties of child and this with different naming convention. Okay, so let's do it again, and then I want you to do it yourself. Okay, let me do one more example. Just try to see what I'm trying to do it. So I will create a function shape. So this is kind of parent. 1 second, I'll be back. Okay, let me create one more example, and then you to do one. I will give you one exercise for yourself. Okay, so I will say this dot name equal to shape, and I will say this dot to string. I create just a function to string, and I will say return this dot name. Okay, so this is returning the string. I will not press enter. Let me create another function. So here I will say triangle. Okay, I am creating a triangle with side and height. So here I will say this dot name is equal to triangle, and then I will say this dot side equal to side. So whatever side I am passing here, I am assigning this to this variable, and I'll say this dot height equal to height. So whatever height I am passing here, I am passing it here. So it is optional, you create this one. I'm just showing one example that we can pass the parameter, but if you can only put some few variables, whatever you want. Okay, so let's say this dot get area. I will put a function get area, and in this function I will say return this dot side into this dot height, this dot height is this dot height upon 2. I don't remember the area of triangle. We need to check. Okay, just let's say this is the area. You can check online what is the exact area is this. I just put one sample formula. We need to confirm if this is the right or not. Okay, so I created a triangle and then I created a shape. Now what I will do, I will make triangle as a child and shape as a parent. So to do that, I will say triangle dot prototype is equal to new shape. We have to create an object. So remember, this should be the object. So what I'm doing, I'm making triangle as a child. So I'm changing the prototype of the child to the new object. This is a parent. Shape is a parent. Then once I created the prototype of triangle is lost. Since prototype of triangle is lost, so we need to create that prototype constructor. Constructor of the triangle is lost. So we need to create the constructor here by saying triangle.prototype.constructor is equal to triangle. Here remember, I'm not putting new. I'm not putting this part. I'm just saying triangle. So because of this, the constructor is lost, so we need to add this line. Okay, now what I will do, I will create object with new triangle, and I will pass the side and height. This is something I will pass. Now I will say dot get area, so it should show this value. Okay, and I will also say x dot. Since this triangle is the child of shape, I can also call this toString function. So it will return me this name. Okay, let me run it now. Okay, triangle is not defined. See, this spelling mistake is there. So let me write down again. I have to keep the string spelling correct. Okay, let's do it now again. Okay, so first this x dot toString is giving me the triangle. If I do x dot get area, it will give me 25. So I can access this also. I can access this also. So this is the way to create parent and child with this method. So you have to create one function, you have to create another function, then you have to link both together with this. Since the constructor will be lost because of this, so you need to add the constructor here, and then you have to create the object from the child, and you can access any properties which you want. So do this one, write down this one. Yeah, this T has said triangle is spelled wrong. Yeah, that was a problem, mistake. Sorry, I muted. Since I put x dot name and x is created from the triangle, so x dot name will come from the triangle. Okay. So let's do that task. So I created this two function. Now let's create one more function. Here I will just give the structure of this function, and then I will give you the task. So it's a 2D shape is my function. and I will put the name of this function equal to 2D shape. Now the task, these three functions I already created for you. Now what you have to do? So you have to copy these three functions first. Now what you have to do? You have to make triangle as a child, and parent of triangle should be 2D shape, and parent of 2D shape will be shape. So first you have to make this 2D shape as a child of shape. Then you have to make triangle as a child of 2D shape. Let's create one more function here in the 2D shape so that you can call my shape is okay. So I'm saying my shape is this dot name. So just add this function, and what you have to do first, make 2D shape as a child of shape, then make triangle as a child of 2D shape, then create a object from this triangle and try to access this function, and this function. Okay, so just do this one. First write down these three functions. Two already you have written previously, but add one more function. So I will just say, maybe I can say this is grandparent, and this is parent, and this is child. So first assign this parent of this to shape, then parent of triangle is 2D shape, and then create the object. So remember that whenever you are making this shape, the parent of 2D shape, you have to change the prototype property and you have to change the constructor. And whenever I will make this as a child of 2D shape, you have to change the prototype property, I have to change the constructor. And then I have to create the new object from this one and try to access this function, and this function. When I call the toString, it does not tell me shape because this dot name is now pointing not to this one. This dot shape will be this dot name will be pointing to the object which we have, that is the triangle. So this dot name will always go from the child one because this is the topmost in the variables. And if it did not find it here, it will go here, and if it did not find it here, it will go here. So it goes from this to this one. So this dot name will always come triangle because we will create object from the triangle, not from the shape. If we create another object from shape, then this dot name will come shape. But if we create another object from 2D shape, then this dot name will come 2D shape, not the shape. Okay, those who are done, just give me the code after this. After these three functions, I want the code to see whether you have done it correctly or not. So just paste the code after these three functions. Okay, Ali is sending this three function. This three function already I have. I want the code after that. I want the code how you are making this as a child of this parent and how you are making this as a child of this shape. I want that code, not the code of these three functions. I want this part. Okay, I got it from one. Let me check. 2D shape dot prototype equal to new shape. Correct. This line is correct. 2D shape dot prototype dot constructor equal to 2D shape. Correct. Constructor is creating into 2D shape. Triangle dot prototype equal to new 2D shape. Correct. Triangle dot prototype dot constructor equal to triangle. Correct. X equal to new triangle get area. So are you getting these three correct? Let me run it. Okay, let's run this code. Get area x dot my shape. My shape is triangle. So though it is calling this dot name, it will not take this dot name from here 2D shape. It will take the this dot name from the object from which I have created it, and object is the triangle. So though it is written in this parent, but this dot name will be called from this triangle. So this is correct. And I'll say x dot to string is triangle. Yeah, here also though it is saying this dot name, people will think it will call this one. So this dot name will not call, it will be overwritten by this, and this will be overwritten by this triangle. So ultimately the value will come as triangle. Anand. Yeah, after you do this prototype, you have to call this triangle and these three functions. Okay, finish it, just finish it and put it in the chat. 2 people have only given it. So these steps are important in creating the linking. Okay, so hopefully everyone has done. Let me see who has given. Okay. Okay, 3 people have given. Other people should write down if they don't understand. Just write down this code, and they can do it later time. So I will give this one more problem on Monday. So you to just remember this thing. I will give one more the exercise to do, because you may forget till Monday, and I want you to read it again and again how to do it. So just remember these 2 lines are important. Rest other things you know. Only these 2 lines are important to make parent. Now we'll move to our CSS one. Let's move to the CSS one. So this one I told you to do yesterday, and pretty much it's very easy, and I don't want time to invest on this one. If you have not done this, you can do it again. And it is pretty much clear that you have to create 6 div and give different color type, that is naming convention, RGB, hex code, RGB here, RGB alpha, HSL, and HSL alpha. You can do it whenever you have time. Okay, let's create the third file now. So I can create 3.css and put all CSS code here, but from now, because it's a learning exercise, I will put all the CSS code here in the style part rather than creating external style sheet. But when you go to the practical world, you need to create external style sheet. So when we do project in the CSS, I will create another CSS file, but right now I will be only working in this page. Since JavaScript is not used in all this exercise of CSS, so I will just remove the JavaScript part. So today we are going to see one more property. Last time we checked the colors one. Today we will see the background property of the CSS. So what we are doing we are doing the background property of CSS. So this is so whenever you want to commit in the CSS part, that is in the style sheet, you have to use /star and // even if it is single line. Not like this slash doesn't work. So you have to use /star and // and everything inside it will be comment. Now in the background property, we will see following sections. So first we will see one is background color. Second is background image. Third is background repeat. Fourth is background attachment. Fifth is background position, and sixth is background size. So we will concentrate on the sixth part in understanding the background property of the CSS. So this is the HTML part. Let's try to open this HTML and see how it looks now. Okay, since I have not done any code, you will see the blank. Completely the screen is blank. So let's try to put something in the background and the foreground text. Let's see if I want to change the background color. I can create any tag and I can change the color, but right now I am concentrating on this body tag. So I will put the body tag. So remember, this body tag is the body tag, not a class, so I don't put the dot before it. I can directly use the body word here. I will not put dot because this is not the class. And I will say background color. So to have the background color, we will just say background dash color, and I can give any of the color which we learned previously, but I will choose from anything from here, brown. So once I say brown, you will see the whole background is changed to brown. So how to do the background color? So to do the background color, we use the code background dash color equal to whatever color you want. You can choose RGB, HSL, hex code, or the naming convention, whatever you want. Okay. So now next is the background image. Let's try to put some text here in some div tag. Okay, so I put this text here. So this is the text I put it inside here. You will see this text is coming here. Now I want to put the background image. So let's put the background image here in this code. So I remove this background color. Now I will only put the background image. So to put the background image, I have to say background dash image, and here I have to give the URL, and inside URL I have to give the URL of the image. So to give the URL image, I will get some image from the Google and I will put it here. So let's go in the Google image and I will download some image. I like T, so I'm choosing the T. You can choose any image. Let's make little smaller. Okay, let me choose little smaller image. This is too big. What is this? Okay, this one is fine. I will save image as in the directory. Let me choose which the folder I want to save. Here I will say t.jpg. Now, so if you see, I got this t.jpg file. I will point to that file. To point to that file, I can, since it is in the same folder, I can say ./t.jpg, or I can remove ./ also. T.jpg is fine. But this is customary. If it is in the same folder, it's better we will write ./t.jpg. So you will see the whole background is filled with my T. The text is not visible clearly. It's okay for now because we are working on the background. So text is not important. This text is just a dummy text. Okay, so let me. Okay, so what we did, background image. So this part is done, that we attach the background image. So before I go further, just write down this part, background color, and put this background color brown. Just put it in anywhere in the notepad. No need to really put it in the HTML, that you can work later. And for the background image, this is the code, background image URL, and you have to give the URL. You can give HTTP URL also directly from the internet, or you can download in your folder and you can give that URL. So either of them works fine. So if I want to put image, put this one. If I want to put color, I will put this one. Now we will concentrate on this one part. Let me know when you are done with writing these 2 lines of the code. Just write down these 2 lines of the code somewhere and let me know when it's done. We'll move to this part. Is it done? Nobody is writing me. Is it done? Have you written these 2 lines? Okay. Just give me the answer. I was waiting. Okay. So 1 person done. That means everybody is done. So let's go to the background repeat. And background repeat generally works with the image only. So I need the background image there. I cannot delete the image. And with the image, I want to set the repeat part. So I will say here background repeat, and the background repeat can be background repeat can be repeat X. That means it repeats on the horizontal line that is on the x-axis. So if I see the code, it's repeating on the only the horizontal line, not the vertical line. So it's on the x-axis. And background repeat has another option of repeat of Y. So when I say Y, that means it is a vertical y-axis and it is vertical line and it will only repeat from top to bottom like this. I can also say repeat. When I say repeat, it repeats x-axis also and y-axis also. So this is the default behavior of background image. This is the default behavior of the background image. And I can say x-axis or y-axis. Also, I can say no repeat. When I say no repeat, then only the one copy of background image will be there and it will not be repeated. So it's only the one copy of background image there. It's not repeated because I'll say no repeat. So these are the options for the repeat. We can say repeat or no repeat. Okay, write down these options before we move further. Let me know when you're done with this one. Okay, 1 second. Give me 1 minute. Okay, let's go to the attachment part now. So attachment is something, when we have lot of data, let's copy this data multiple times. Okay, so we have a lot of data. Okay, let's now work with attachment. So attachment will be, I can say, background attachment. So in the background attachment, I will say fixed first. So there is one option called as fixed. Okay, so let's see how it looks. When I say fixed, even if I scroll down, the image is fixed here. Okay, image is fixed here. So this is not a default behavior, but we can have fixed option in the attachment. And default is scroll. So when I say scroll, this is default. So when I say scroll, when I move down, the background image also move down. It does not come with the scroll. Okay, so these two are the options for the attachment. There are few more options you can see on internet about attachment, but practically we don't use them, so I'm not touching those things. So just we use these two. We are using this one. So just write down these two. So now Now background position we will see on Monday. I will just show background size now. So let's do the background size. Okay, let's go to do the side, background side. Side, no, size, sorry. It's size. Okay, now the size has different uh, values. Let's try to see one. I will use the cover. I will use the cover size. Now we'll see what the cover size is showing us. Let me open. So, okay, let's make this fixed and see. Yeah, fixed and it doesn't make any difference. Okay, so the cover is something, you know, it covers the entire container. You know, it covers the entire container. So whatever container we have, it has entire container. Okay, let me try to use fixed and see what difference we get. Okay, we are not getting any difference, but okay. So yeah, I am not able to go down because it other part is cut there. Let me try to decrease the size of this browser window. So you will see that part of the image is cut on the right side, and then I can increase it. So this is called the cover. So one of the thing is cover. It takes the whole it takes the whole space, and when I reduce the size, it cuts little bit there. Okay. So this is called the cover. So maybe I will show you different version of the size so you can see the difference. Let's take the another one. It's called the contain. So let's see how contain looks. So contain means it will take the full image and it will try to give the full image. So it doesn't cut kind of thing, which cover was able to do that. So if I go down, you will see the image is also reducing the size to show the full image. Whereas in the previous case, it was cutting. So in the cover, it was cutting the sides. Whereas if I use the contain, it adjusts itself so that it covers whole image. So I will be able to see the whole image with the contain. With cover, I won't be able to see the whole image. It will cut on the sides if it need to. Okay, so these are the two difference between this. Now let's have other values also. So we have the length. Length is something we can also say what is the height and width of it. So I can say height of 100 pixel and width of 200 pixel. So see, height is giving, height is what is the height I gave? Height of 100 pixel, width of 200 pixel. Okay. Okay, second value is setting the height. So this is width and this is height. Maybe let's make this 500. Yeah, so this is the width. So the first value is width and second value is height. This will not work. Okay, so we have first value as width and second is the height. So I can specify exactly what height and width I want. I can give that one. So I can give 200 by 200. So it will be 200 by 200. So whatever height and width you want to give, you can give. So this is next is background size. Okay, so I can also put the percentage kind of thing. Maybe I can say 50% here, and I can say 50% here. It will reduce the size to 50% and 50% of the total height. Since it is not exactly square, so we are getting some bad format. Let's do 100% and see. So it will take the whole 100%. Okay, so this 100% is exactly, depend on percentage. You can experiment what percentage you need. Okay, that is the one type of value you can put, percentage, or you can put the, or you can put the pixel, which makes little sense because you exactly give what pixel you want to show, or you can use contain or cover. So these are the four types of size which we can use. Just write down this four type and we're done for today.